Okay, so finally, week commencing 27th November analysis for Forex first. Let's go. Dollar, again, wartime events going on around the world normally seem, normally when that happens, you see a risk off approach. Dollar goes up. Now, this time, yes, it did happen, October, but after that, look at this. Okay, it's coming down now. Obviously, with the looming possibility of BRICS as well coming together, you know, obviously we know inevitably dollar is going to decline, but to these equal lows. But is that going to start now? Well, that's a question that we may see answered. Okay, so moving forward, I want to keep an eye on this BISI, see if this will act as a resistance idea, so support and resistance idea. But that is what I want to see for that to occur, or be more likely to occur, I guess, is for the monthly candle here, like you see, to be closing extremely bearishly, like strongly below this BISI, okay? And then, of course, I want to see if this acts as resistance. If it does, then, of course, consequence encroachment, and then low, small BISI here, and then obviously the rest of the bearish targets are down here. So that's something I want to see going forward. I don't need that for my, trading, for my intraday trading, because I'm only in there for a few hours at most. But yeah, that's definitely interesting to see as a long-term objective. Also, weekly wise, as we've called, we're this is where we turned around and went lower to this target. Now on the daily, that's where the juice is at. So if I just put the labels back on, inversion weekly fair value gap, BISI was here. We saw that act as a resistance as expected. Then this last week that's just passed by, I was looking at this to see if this acts as a resistance, as an inversion fair value gap, and lo and behold, it did. Bodies just below consequence encroachment, way below the high of this, and this old daily fair value gap as well. And then we're making our way to the previous monthly low now. Okay, so that's for the XY higher time frame. Obviously, previous weekly low, previous monthly low. These are the targets, bearish targets I'm looking for right now. Now going on to the Euro USD being the mirror image. So we're seeing risk on so far. So I would definitely want to see. Sorry, just before I get into this, actually, the small BISI here also acted as a bit of a inversion, but to be honest with you, it wasn't as good as or as clean as DXY. You can see the body closing below that. This is where your order block would have come in. You would have looked at the order block, the mean threshold off the order block here. Your body's way above that. Okay. Or if you want to dive down into a lower time frame, there's your bullish breaker on the 4-hour. And you can see prices staying inside of that, not even going to the mean threshold. And that's when you saw the move up. And it wasn't that much more. It was very lethargic in terms of a week, last week, okay? Now, straight away, my eyes here, in the DXY risk on, straight away, this is our near-term target. If you get real excited, then that's where I would look at this basically in line with the DXY, what it does. But at the moment, December again, don't expect moves that are big, extrapolated, clean. Don't expect that at all. Try to look at the economic calendar like this here, where it's like it's start of the week isn't that big. There's not much going on. Monday, Tuesday. Tuesday is really calm. Monday you got some news at least. Wednesday again, mild news, nothing big. Thursday is when there's a little bit of an excitement, and then Thursday again, very mild news. Fed Chair Powell speech, that's something that might make the whole day untradeable actually. But heavy towards the end, light towards the start. So I'd probably focus again on my Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays for this week. That's where the focus, where the meat of is basically going to be at. But if I just label all the levels back in, unfinished business here on the fair value gap CB, definitely want to see that filled. And yeah, CED as well here. But I wouldn't go that far. I want to see it for this week at least. This now we might get lucky and we might just literally just go up and fill it out today. Completely possible. I think that can happen. So that's something I want to look for in Forex. And then of course we can reverse. Not that I'm chasing it, not that I'm picking a top. It's not something I do, but you know, this is still here. Still make a note of that. Okay, so moving on to the next part, indices. This is again because obviously the holiday season, I'm not holding large expectations anyway. So that by default makes it a little bit easier. Um, Straight away, my eyes would be on the previous weekly, so the buy side liquidity, in this case, the week's high and the month's high, because we're close, but also looking at the quarterly shift objective being met and how we then aggressively, you know, went after the buy side liquidity and the inefficiencies up there in the premium levels. Um, last 4 weeks of, bullish action. I think this is where this week's counterparty liquidity is, either above the weekly or the monthly. I don't need to know which one, okay? I just need to read price action, tape read it, and just see what the market is giving me. You know, how these daily candles open and close, and then basically just go from there. I mean, I'm after 5 candles, so it doesn't hugely affect me anyway. But I always like to just have a hello. Yeah, sorry. So I still want to keep an eye on the higher time frame level regardless, okay? Now, so what we're looking at here, I said weekly high, previous monthly high, okay? Now, because it's December, I can't, infer a lot here, but on a normal week, I would probably just look at something like here, a rate above one of these levels, and then maybe a shift lower, because this huge BISI, this needs to be addressed, of course. It's a balanced price range still here, but still have a huge BISI here. We can't just leave that. If you want to go a little bit lower in terms of time frame, then you still have a 4 hour. Uh, Actually, I think that's closed. Let's see on the 1 hour if there's anything there. So there's a small BISI here on the 1 hour. Equal lows, not to mention. So that's something that can then become a drawn liquidity should we complete our counterparty liquidity pairing above the weekly and the monthly high here. So that's something to look out for going forward into the week. If I just have a really quick glance at NASDAQ, even though I don't really trade it now, but with the ES, I always like to just give them both my analysis. Now looking at here, this is more zealous in terms of going for its bullish buy side targets. It's already taken out pretty much all the targets. Now, of course, this is, the perfect counterparty liquidity pairing idea here. Previous monthly high, and it's probably highest point it's been. If it goes there, then that's the perfect place for counterparty liquidity, and maybe looking at a shift here into this BISI on the week and here on the day. So that's something again for look out for. Just gonna put a alert on there so we know. So that's it. Again, look for your juicy setups on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Get in, get out. No holding for a long, zealous targets. Don't be really, really, really hopeful it's gonna keep going a lot because it's holiday season. Take care. Bye.